The bar was packed that Friday night, loud music crumbling through the wooden floor as laughter and clinking glasses filled the air. It was the kind of place where people came to escape their troubles for a while. But no one there that night could have imagined what was about to unfold, an incident that would silence even the loudest drunks and leave everyone questioning what kind of people they truly were inside. At the center of it all was Lena, a young waitress who worked double shifts just to pay for her little brother's medication. She was quiet, polite, and always smiling, even when exhaustion was written all over her face. Her hands trembled slightly every time she balanced a tray full of beers, but she never complained. The regulars liked her, mostly because she never snapped, no matter how rude they got. She had a way of softening even the roughest hearts, except one. That night, a group of bikers roared into the parking lot. The ground almost shook under their engines. They were regulars too, loud, fearless, and a little too fond of causing trouble. Their leader, Jax, was a massive man with tattoos crawling up his neck and a permanent smirk that never seemed to fade. People usually gave him space, but Lena had no choice. It was her job to serve them. As she approached their table, balancing a tray with 5 beers, one of the bikers whistled. "Well, look who's back," he sneered, "our little angel waitress." The others laughed. Lena forced a small smile and placed the beers down carefully. "Here you go, guys," she said softly. "Anything else for you tonight?" "Yeah," Jax said, leaning back in his chair. "You could stay a bit. We could use some company." She shook her head politely. "Sorry, I still have tables to serve." He didn't like that answer. He grabbed her wrist, his grip rough enough to make her flinch. "Come on, don't be rude. We're paying customers." The bar went a little quieter. People looked away, not wanting to get involved. Lena tried to pull back, her voice trembling. "Please, let go." Jax chuckled darkly, his friends egging him on. "Relax, sweetheart. I'm not gonna bite." Then, in one quick motion, he tugged at her shirt, ripping the front of her uniform. Gasps filled the bar as the fabric tore, and everyone froze, not because of what he did, but because of what they saw. Right there, beneath her torn shirt, across her chest and shoulder, were long, faded burn scars, deep and uneven, the kind that told a story of unimaginable pain. The smirk fell from Jax's face. The laughter from his friends died instantly. Lena's eyes filled with tears, her breathing shallow as she covered herself with her arms. No one moved. For a few seconds, the entire bar was silent except for the soft hum of the jukebox. Then Lena whispered, "Please. Just let me go." She turned and ran toward the back, disappearing through the kitchen doors. The bartender, an older man named Dre, slammed his rag on the counter and glared at Jax. "What the hell is wrong with you?" he barked. "You think that's funny?" Jax didn't answer. His eyes were fixed on the kitchen door. Something in his chest twisted, guilt, shame, maybe even fear. He'd been in fights, seen men bleed, but nothing had ever hit him like that look in her eyes did. A few minutes later, Lena came out from the back wearing a hoodie. Her face was red from crying, but she tried to keep her chin up. "I'm fine," she said softly to Ray, who wanted to throw the bikers out. "Please don't make a scene." Jax stood up. "Wait," he said, his voice lower now. "I didn't." "Don't," she interrupted, not even looking at him. "Just don't." She went back to wiping tables as if nothing had happened. Though her hands shook with every movement, the bar slowly returned to its noise, but the air wasn't the same. Everyone felt the weight of what they had witnessed and their silence. Later that night, after closing, Lena sat on a crate outside the back door, staring at the stars. Ree came out with 2 cups of coffee. "You don't have to pretend it's okay," he said quietly, sitting beside her. She smiled faintly. "I've been through worse." He hesitated, then asked, "Those scars? They from the fire?" She nodded slowly. "Yeah, 3 years ago, our house caught fire while I was making dinner. My little brother, Sam, was trapped inside. I went back for him. I got him out, But as she looked down at her hands, I didn't come out the same. Ray shook his head, eyes wet. And that punk thought he could humiliate you. It's okay, she whispered. People see scars and they judge. I've gotten used to it. But she wasn't okay. When she got home that night, Sam was already asleep, his small frame curled up under a blanket. She sat on the floor beside his bed and brushed his hair away from his face. I'm sorry, buddy, she whispered. I'll find something better for us soon. The next day, Lena came to work as usual. But something was different. When she entered the bar, every head turned and not in the usual way. The same bikers from the night before were there, but they weren't laughing this time. Jack stood up as soon as she walked in. Lena, he said quietly, I need to talk to you. She froze. The room fell silent again. Ray started to step forward, but Lena lifted her hand slightly. It's okay, she said softly. Jack walked toward her slowly, his eyes red and tired. He stopped a few feet away and said, I'm sorry for last night. I had no right to. She shook her head. It's fine. Just forget it. No, he said firmly. It's not fine. He reached into his jacket and pulled out a small box. I found out about you, he said. Ray told me a bit about the fire, about your brother. I was an idiot who thought I was tough, but you a broken bar. He paused, his voice cracking. You're the bravest person I've ever met. Lena blinked in surprise, not sure what to say. He placed the box on the counter and stepped back. There's money in there, from all of us. We want you to use it for whatever you need, for your brother, your bills, anything. Lena stared at the box, then at the bikers behind him, who all looked genuinely remorseful. For the first time, she saw no arrogance in their faces, only regret. I can't take this, she whispered. Yes, you can, Jax insisted. Please. I don't want what I did to be the last thing you remember about me. Tears welled up in her eyes again. She looked around the bar at the same people who had looked away last night and saw how quiet they were, how some of them looked ashamed too. Maybe, she thought, they had all learned something. She finally nodded and accepted the box. Thank you, she said softly. That night, as she walked home, she felt lighter. When she got back, Sam ran to her, waving a drawing he'd made. Look, Lena, it's us, you and me, and a new house with a big tree. She smiled, hugging him tightly. Maybe one day, she whispered. Over the next few months, things began to change. The bikers came back often, but never with bad intentions. They'd sit quietly, tip big, and even help clean up sometimes. Jax became one of her biggest supporters, always respectful, always kind. He even helped her set up a fundraiser for burn victims in the community. Word spread fast, and soon the whole town knew Lena's story. Donations poured in. The woman who once hid her scars was now speaking to others about courage, survival, and forgiveness. And every time she told her story, she'd look out into the crowd and see Jack sitting there by the man who once hurt her the most, now helping her heal others. Months later, Lena stood on a small stage at a local charity event, her brother sitting proudly in the front row. She looked out at the people, her voice calm but strong. We all carry scars, she said. Some are on the outside, some are hidden deep inside, but they don't define our worth, they define our strength. And sometimes, even the people who hurt us can help us find that strength again. The crowd stood and applauded. Tears streamed down Jax's face, though he quickly wiped them away. For the first time in years, Lena smiled without hiding. She had turned her pain into purpose, her scars into symbols of survival. And somewhere deep down, every person who had been in that bar that night, every bystander, every biker, every stranger carried a piece of her courage with them. Because sometimes it takes one broken moment to reveal the humanity we all forget we have. And sometimes, forgiveness is the loudest way to silence cruelty. That night, as Lena closed her eyes beside her sleeping brother, she whispered a quiet thank you, not to the man who hurt her, but to the strength she found because of it. And somewhere across town, in a dimly lit bar, Jax raised his glass and whispered his own aid to the girl who changed everything with her quiet courage. The scars remained, but they no longer told a story of pain. They told a story of survival, forgiveness, and the power of kindness that can rise even from the darkest moments.